The Ford Motor Company has made many cars, but none have come close to as popular as the Mustang. Mustangs are a favorite of many car fanatics. They've always been easy to modify, tune, and clean, but they're also muscle cars that keep up with many European cars on the track. The first Mustang came out on April 17, 1964. When it started being sold in 1965, it was the first car made by Ford that has made more sales than the Model A. Since then, Mustangs have gone through a series of changes, and they are still changing to this day. The first generation Mustang was supposed to be quick and powerful. In the beginning, it was a fast car, but slowly towards the end of the first generation, they got slower and more luxurious. The second generation of Mustangs began in 1974 and ended in 1978. The new president of Ford had wanted a Mustang to save more money on gas, which in turn made it smaller. The new Mustang was called the Mustang II. After they had produced the Mustang II, there was an oil crisis in 1973 which regulated what cars were street legal. Once regulations were adjusted, the Mustang was adjusted to be smaller and heavier due to the laws that were applied. Many people started to think this was the downfall of the Mustang due to the performance loss. After the oil crisis, Ford had created a Cobra, which was a car just for performance. They also created a luxury Mustang towards the end of the second generation called a Ghia. The third generation of Mustangs, or the Fox body era as I'd call it, lasted from 1979 to 1993. There was a total rework of the body style of the Mustang, and the back seat was now more comfortable. Not only did the backseat get adjustments, but in 1979 the headlights were changed and people now call those years of the Mustang 4 eyes. The engine also changed from using carburetors to using fuel injection. This is a big step in engine changes. Sales on the Mustang started to go down during the 1980s, so they tried to create a new Mustang. It was supposed to be like a Japanese car, V6 and 4-wheel drive, but instead it turned into the Ford Probe. The fourth generation of Mustangs lasted from 1994 to 2004. It featured a small body rework, and it's my favorite body style of the Mustangs. It was the first option for Mustangs to have a V6 engine as well. The 302 block style engine was finally taken out of the Mustang series and instead replaced with a new V8 engine that was much stronger. In 1999, the Mustang's body was changed yet again, this time with the idea of Ford's new Edge. The interior stayed the same as before, but the outside had sharper edges, more creases, and it also had a raise in horsepower. During the fourth generation was when the Mach 1, Bullet, Celine, and Roush Mustangs came out, which are all aftermarket performance cars. The fifth generation, which lasted from 2005 to 2014, was when the square-styled Mustang was introduced. The whole idea of the fifth generation was to create a retro-futuristic Mustang, as Ford's senior vice president called it. Until 2010, the V6 Mustang was still as powerful as the fourth generation V6s. After 2010, V6 engines were up to 100 horsepower in the Mustang. The Shelby GT500 is a car that's renowned for its speed and was introduced in this generation. The Mustang Boss 302 came along as well. Both are Mustangs with larger engines than the typical V8.
You should drive this car.
You may want to close your eyes for this.
The coolest thing about Mustangs is that they can be modified and tuned easily. Due to this factor, there are many companies that make performance aftermarket Mustangs. Celine focuses a lot on the body style of the Mustang, but also includes some performance upgrades. Roush balances out and tests everything in the Mustang, and is one of the best quality Mustangs out there. They have 3 stages, which get better as you go up the stages.
But don't worry, just because it's practical doesn't mean it's slow.
This car is seriously quick. It handles good. It's got good turn-in with the square stance tires. The throttle pedal is almost one of those two-stage ones where there's fast and then whoa fast, you know? And when boost builds, it builds with the force and feels every bit of the 575 horsepower they say that it makes.